Hey family, this is King Kurus, the Black History Buff. Come, let's walk and talk. Picture this. Right now, as we speak, there are war crimes being committed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Sexual violence, massacres, children being recruited as soldiers, and the UN set up an investigation in February to document these atrocities and potentially bring evidence to the International Criminal Court. But guess what? This investigation is now dead in the water. Not because they can't find the evidence, there's plenty of that, trust me. It's stalled because they don't have the money. Every day, I go through the news to bring you the stories that matter to our communities. Today's story is about how $3.9 million pocket change for world powers is standing between justice and accountability for millions of Congolese people. So here's what's happening. The UN Human Rights Office set up this commission inquiry back in February to investigate the mess in eastern Congo. We're talking about North and South Kivu provinces where the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels have been going on a rampage. These rebels just captured Goma in January. That's a city of over 2 million people, and they've been pushing south. Along the way, they've been committing what can only be described as war crimes, mass killings, systematic violence of a sexual nature, forced recruitment of children. The UN found that in some areas, a child was being violated every 30 minutes during the worst of the fighting. Now, the UN tried to do the right thing for once. They allocated 1.1 million from their emergency funds to start a fact-finding mission. But to properly investigate and document everything for potential war crime prosecutions, they need 3.9 million total for the commission of the inquiry. And here's where it gets interesting, family. They don't have the money. Why? Two main reasons. First, some countries just aren't paying their UN dues. Second, and this is the killer, Trump's foreign aid cuts have created what the UN is calling a major cash crunch. Before I go any further, if you're enjoying this walk and talk, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe and share. Please, it helps the algorithm massively and more people get to hear about how this world really works for us. Okay, back to the story. The office's reserves are completely exhausted. South Africa's representative called the delay a grave mistake. The DRC's own representative said it risks making it look like the investigation isn't important to the UN. But here we are. So let's follow the money for a second, because that's where the real story is always found. Trump's administration has slashed foreign aid across Africa. We are talking over $6.5 billion that was going to the sub-Saharan Africa last year alone. The PEPFAR and the AIDS relief program that's kept millions of our people alive, that's been cut. Food programs in Sudan where people are literally starving, cut. Now, I'm not saying the UN investigation would automatically fix everything in Congo, but think about what 3.9 million represents in this instance. That's less than what some of these politicians spend on a single campaign event. And it's definitely less than what gets spent on a single day of military operations anywhere in Europe, in particular the West. And it's definitely less than what gets spent on a single day of military operations anywhere the West actually gives a damn about. The fact is that this investigation, documenting war crimes against African people, can't get funded while billions flow to other conflicts, tells you everything about global priorities. This whole situation is giving me major deja vu, and it should give you deja vu too if you know your history, because this is the exact same region where the world stood by and watched genocide unfold in 1994. Let me explain. During the Rwanda genocide, when 800,000 to 1 million people were being slaughtered in 100 days, the United States and other major powers spent weeks refusing to even call it a genocide. Why? Because calling it genocide would create a legal obligation to intervene. They literally had meetings in Washington where officials were instructed not to use the G word. While machetes were chopping up entire families, diplomats were playing word games to avoid responsibility. The International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda wasn't established until November 8th, 1994. The genocide ended in July. Do you see the pattern? They only set up the accountability mechanisms after the killing has been done and the cameras have moved on. And here's the thing that should really get you riled up. The ICTR had the exact same problems we're seeing now. Political interference, funding issues, and systematic blind spots. The tribunal was supposed to investigate all war crimes in the region, but they couldn't touch crimes committed by Rwanda's army. They couldn't investigate what happened in Congo when Rwandan forces and militias crossed the border. This story's resonating with you, or if it's not resonating with you, and you want to help me decide what stories I cover next, check out the Black History Buff on Patreon, because that's where you can influence what content I make and where we dig deeper into these connections the mainstream media won't tell you. History is made every day, family. And what we're seeing in Congo right now is history repeating itself. The same region, the same international neglect, the same pattern of investigations that come too late or get defunded when they matter the most. The M23 rebels that are committing these current atrocities, they are literally the descendants of the same Tutsi-led rebel movements that emerged after the Rwanda genocide. They're backing from Rwanda. That's the same Rwanda that was protected by Western powers during the ICTR years because they were the good guys who ended the genocide. So when Rwanda's army is now helping M23 commit war crimes in Congo, and yes, multiple UN reports confirm Rwanda is directly involved, we're seeing the same cycle. Violence, international inaction, delayed investigations, and funding shortfalls that ensure accountability never really happens. The mining dimension makes this even worse. Congo has trillions of dollars worth of minerals. The coltan in your phones, the cobalt in electric car batteries. The M23 is smuggling at least 150 metric tons of coltan into Rwanda annually. And this is according to the UN reports. But a $3.9 million investigation into their war crimes? Nah, that's somehow way too expensive. So let me be real about what this funding crisis actually represents. It's not just about the money. It's about whether African lives matter enough for real accountability. We've got 7.3 million displaced people in Congo right now. Children are being turned into soldiers. Women and girls are facing systematic violence, and the world response is, sorry, we can't afford to properly investigate. Meanwhile, billions flow into conflicts where Western interests are directly at stake. The message is clear. African suffering is negotiable. African justice is optional. And African lives are worth exactly 3.9 million or less. And that's why I do this work. These patterns don't get broken by accident. They get broken when we understand them, name them, and refuse to accept them as normal. So to keep up to date with everything that I'm sharing, please follow me on Instagram. You can just look on Black History Buff 777 because I share more of this type of stuff there, along with other facts that I can't fit into these walks, and I can't share everything here with you. But understanding these patterns is the first step to taking the actions that are going to make the changes going forward. So the Congo funding crisis isn't just about Congo. It's about a global system that consistently undervalues African lives and African justice. It's about investigations that come too late. It's about funding that dries up when accountability matters the most. It's about a pattern of international response that hasn't fundamentally changed since 1994. But here's what I want you to remember. Every time they claim there's no money for justice, there's always money for everything else they actually care about. The money exists. The question is whether we exist enough in their calculations for them to actually want to spend it. Right. That's your morning walk and talk with me, King Kurus, the Black History Buff. If you want to support more content like this and have a say in what topics I tackle, Black History Buff on Patreon is where all of that happens. Have a great day, and please stay blessed.